Alright kids, here we are for another one! Today we're going to be talking about 2021's The Mutation by my boy Scott Jeffrey. I've reviewed a couple of his films on this channel. I generally like his stuff. I like what he does. The man has the business ethic of a fucking rock star. That's a weird thing to say. What I mean is he just churns this shit out. He puts out so many movies a year, it doesn't even make sense. But this one, short but sweet IMDb description here. A mutated rat has been let loose in a city. That might be an oversimplification, but it is honest. This movie is interesting. Now, I won't say that it's great. It does suffer from something that I'd say a lot of Scott's movies suffer from, which is they're putting in a lot of drama when they should be putting in camp. This one, though, this one might be one of his best. It does have that camp. This reminds me almost of a throwback to a 1950s horror movie in the approach of the monster. The monster's a giant rat.
Rodents.
We've said that already. But this rat is very much a person. It kind of looks like a bad guy from Power Rangers if you fed it crack and you were in the middle of a fever dream. It's not necessarily rat-like. It almost looks like a mutated cat person, but it is awesome. It looks great. And the actions this thing does, I have no words. This thing is straight up fighting people. It has no rat instincts. It's not like, let me hide, let me do things. It is snapping necks. It is in fisticuffs. It reminds me of like Zat. It's doing it. To get a little bit more into the plot here, the movie starts off, the rat escapes from its cage, this is before we know it's a rat, and it kills a scientist and escapes.
Christ. How did you get out?
The zoologist, I guess you would call him, is called in with his partner to kind of assess the situation.
This is zoologist Alan Marsh and his assistant Julie Larkin.
The police seem to have no interest in him actually helping them, and they're inept, which always leads to a great horror movie. So our zoologist here, with the help of a widow of this scientist who was killed, as I already mentioned, who also seems to not give a shit about her husband at all.
He's just in this big old house alone.
Because she's hot for doctor. I don't actually know if he's a doctor. Maybe he has a doctorate in zoology. Not important. Anyway, we got the cops, we got this widow, we got our zoologists, and they've got to do an old school mutant rat roundup. Now that's not the only thing that happens in this movie. Obviously there's more, there's some twists, there's some turns. I'm not gonna get into those because that's what's fun about watching a movie. There are some amazing kills in this, and a biting social commentary on the inequalities of female shoe wear leading to untimely death. I really enjoyed this, so I'm gonna say this directly into camera to Scott, because Scott, I know you've seen my videos before. We've been in correspondence. We've slid into the DMs. More like this. This is the action you need, but you need to throw the drama away, maybe pepper in some comedy, a few one-liners, some badass, rough and tough cops, and just do what a couple of scenes that happen in this movie are for a whole movie. I will be singing your praises all year. But you're getting there, you're on course. With an average director being like on course, you're like, oh, so in a few years you might get to where I personally want you to get. And again, it's all in my humble opinion. But because Scott puts out 20-something movies a year, I'm expecting in like a few months you're gonna be like just nailing it exactly the way I want it to happen. But no, this is fun. I can't give it a hard recommend because there's just too much of that peppered drama in there. But for a group watch, like if you're sitting there chilling, having some pizza, maybe playing cards and have a movie on, you're gonna look up every once in a while and see some amazing shit. And I think that this is a fun movie for that. For a solo watch, if you're just sitting there trying to be very intent on and watch a movie, I think you're gonna see yourself gazing at your phone every now and again. But I still say it's enjoyable. If you are a movie completionist and definitely have to check out everything, there is no reason to push this one back farther because again, those couple of scenes that are in this that are really fun are really fucking fun. Alright, so that's my thoughts about this film. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire. We'll see you next time and fuck off.
just daggers. You know that he's the sharpest in the shed with content so killer that he left them all for dead. Yeah, cause like I said, no, he don't do this just for fun. Never stop until the top because he's going number one. Just daggers, always cutting through the competition. Everybody listen, homie, he came up here on a mission. Got him wishing that he could take a break to stunt, but the point's to stay sharp, never going blunt. Just daggers, just daggers, just daggers, just daggers, just daggers, just daggers. It's on point, cause you know he stays sharp. Just daggers, just daggers, just daggers.